Check, pass test. It is 6:01. I'm going to call the regular meeting for Tuesday, March 10th, 2026 of the Lake Worth Beach Community Development Redevelopment Agency. Roll call, please.
Here.
Mr. John Zerdy,
Here.
Ms. Leah Furch.
Here.
Mr. Drew Bartlett is not present. Ms. Donna Kerner is not present. Mr. Richard Mahler
Here.
and Chair Blockson.
Here. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, do we have any additions, deletions, or reordering of our agenda for this evening?
Chairwoman Blockson.
Okay.
I do have a request from the Village Flats to be moved from C to, I guess, A because of a prior commitment.
Remaining under the action agenda, just moving to A.
Correct.
That's fine. Okay, we have to vote on that. All right, can I get a motion for that?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Righty. Now, at this time, we have public comment on non-agenda items. If you would like to make a public comment, please make your way up to the dais.
Good evening, Sarah Maliga, your CRA liaison to the City of Lake Worth Beach, also resident 408 South E Street in Lake Worth Beach, Florida. First, I wanted to say thank you to the board, to staff, to Joan, and to Congresswoman Lois Frankel for the contribution that we're getting of $850,000 for more affordable housing. And that's always an exciting time in our city. And I'm just thankful that the board and that the staff put together these packets and they really go after the funding. And I know they're working on the next one for this next coming year, even though this budget's not done. I always give a letter of support on city letterhead supporting all of these endeavors. In addition, I wanted to say in regards to circuit, the Business Advisory Board met 2 weeks ago. They talked about the circuit. And one of the things that we talked about is going to each business that shows up on the Circuit app, and perhaps Circuit can start charging $10 to $15 a month as an advertising fee to those businesses to help offset the cost of the CRA. I don't know how that would come to play or who at the Circuit would have to be involved, but I said I would personally go door to door to every business I own because that's a good investment, good return on investment. It's a low cost advertisement, and I think it would be something that we could look forward to helping sustain that program because we don't want to lose it, right? We want to be a walkable city. And even though we have a low ridership, I think that ridership is going to continue to increase, especially as we see fuel rising. So I don't know how the board or the staff could look into doing something like that, but the Business Advisory Board and myself are behind something like that. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Have a motion for the minutes from February 10th, 2026. You have any concerns or questions or corrections?
So moved. Approval. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Consent agenda?
Move approval of the consent agenda items. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passed. At this time, we're going to have our action agenda, and we're going to have the Village Flats Amendment for Phase 2 and 3 to go first. So A.
Thank you,
Joan?
Madam Chairwoman. I know we've been working on this project for, I don't know, 6 years now. But I have good news that Phase 1 is almost complete. We also got a request from the developer to please extend the deadlines, which seemed reasonable because obviously they're just taking this project over. We kind of went back and forth and came up with 2 deadlines for Phase 2, which is up on Lucerne Avenue. That one would have to be done by March 1st, 2027. That gives them a year. And for phase 3, which is the bigger phase, later that year, September 1st, 2027. And we do have Joseph Esposito here for Oak Lane Partners, or I guess Village Flats, to give you a brief update.
Joseph,
Yes,
please come to the mic.
State your name and address, please.
I'm sorry,
You have to state your name and address.
name's Joseph Esposito, address 1701 Northeast 42nd Street, Oakland Park, Florida, representing the owners of the Village Flats project. First off, I'd like to thank the Lake Worth Beach CRA for allowing us to take over this project. From what I know of this project, it was something that's been ongoing and sort of a failed project. We're looking very forward to taking it forward. We're happy to announce that the phase 1 is almost complete. Got a few more things that we're taking care of, but we're looking to actually beat that June 1st date of completion. We're looking forward to moving forward with the phase 2 and phase 3 of this project. And that's pretty much it. Would you like me to discuss the additional time?
Unless the board needs to.
Any questions?
Move approval of the proposal to as amendment of phases 2 and 3 as included in our packets. Second.
Yes, John.
So you have construction contract.
There, do you have construction contracts set up for these next phases?
Yes, we're in the process of going through those. We were repricing everything because phase 2 and phase 3, we had to go through the repricing. Unfortunately, because of the time lapse
Right.
between them. And we're hoping to get all of that within the next week or so. So
And permitting process
permitting process is ongoing.
ongoing?
Yes,
How far
but I
away
mean,
are
we've
you?
got
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Permitting should already be done.
permitting, yes, permitting is done, but I'm sorry, but any additional changes that may need to be made and may need to come across the board. I'm sorry for that.
Okay, so you have the green light to just get the thing going and break ground and
Yeah.
just trying to clear out for everybody to understand here. That's gives you 1 year for this to occur from the first one. And I understand there's a 90 or a 3-month extension for administrative extension.
Yeah, I
Well-
can give a 90-day extension if needed.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. You will have a seat because now I have to ask for public comment before we vote. If anyone would like to make a public comment regarding this item, please step to the podium. Absent public comment, it's time for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Passes unanimously. Thank you. The second item on the action agenda is for Circuit, approve amendment to the contract.
Chairwoman, I believe it's commercial grants, 705 Lucerne Avenue.
Well, I moved,
Oh, you did.
I moved C to A, so I'm
Oh,
now going
okay.
back to A.
Not to see that.
Yes.
I'm sorry. My apologies. We do have Jason Bagley here from Circuit who's going to give a brief presentation. I do have some good news that since we spoke, I think, about Circuit maybe a few months ago, the CRA has been working really hard to get the word out. We now have posters on Tri-Rail. We have links on Tri-Rail. We delivered postcards with the help of Circuit all through the downtown and on Dixie Highway. And we've increased our social media presence, and it definitely made a big difference. So our costs per rider from the year before are cut in half. And Jason's going to give you some more stats and info.
Good evening, board. Jason Bagley with
Good evening.
Circuit. We have a presentation. Share
Mm.
this one here.
That's nice.
Can we go to slideshow just to? Great. I'm going to slide.
You want to control?
Oh, yeah. Keep bothering you. So thank you all again for having me here tonight. I wanted to give a quick overview. So just looking at our base operation, the program started in March of 2024. We're showing our coverage area, current coverage area here, and our hours of operation. Current fleet is 2 vehicles. It's one of the GEM electric vehicles that you see pictured here, as well as an EV sedan. Currently, the fares for the program is $1 per rider. We are in regular communication with Joan and staff, and share a lot of our data. It has, as she just mentioned, we have some great numbers that have been increasing over the past several months, but we recently put together our 2025 highlights. We moved over 20,000 passengers in 2025. Demand increased significantly over the previous year. And then we have some really granular data here, 82% connection rate, 141% increase in ridership year over year. Something that we were focusing on over the past several months is unique users. And we have a chart coming up, but we'll see a real increase in those unique users. I think important to mention that the repeat users are relying on the service and using it multiple times a week to get around. They either don't have a car, maybe have one car in a household. So they are relying on this service to get to essential services, to get to work, to get to transit. Our average wait time is fantastic, 8 minutes and 47 seconds. Average ride time, 5 minutes and 58 seconds. So a lot of short trips. 4.95 average user rating out of 5 stars. And we track how much gas we're saving, which is especially important now, 1,890 gallons saved in 2025. Some great information on who our riders are. So we have all of the demographics. Over 40% of our riders in 2025 were seniors. And then we have data around our top pickup and drop-off locations. I think Publix has been #1 every month since we've been in service, but not a big shocker there. Now we get into current. If we look at February, we had a record number of riders, 2,057. 11.1 minutes. So the wait time went up a little bit because the demand and the ridership went up. That's right where we want it to be. Right around that 10 minutes is kind of our target nationally. So we're right there. We do only have 2 vehicles in a fairly large coverage area, but it's manageable right now. And I think we still have room for a little bit more capacity. We're also focused on pooling rides as often as we can, and we have some of those metrics around that. If we look at our ridership, this is our monthly ridership since I think the last 13 months, but we're seeing that we are at record numbers, and we've been trending in that direction for the last several months. So great to see. Again, the unique users, we're seeing that trend line just go up month over month since we started the program in March of 2024. So we love to see that. 425 unique users in February. And then the inverse of that is the cost per rider is going down. The program cost has stayed the same. The more people we get to use the service, the cost per individual rider goes down. And just so you're aware, like the industry standard for transit, a lot of the PalmTran or the fixed route buses are often in the $40 to $80 a rider. Transit's never a moneymaker, but if you can minimize it and get a lot of people to use it, then you're getting that cost per rider down and having an efficient service that people like to use. Some key highlights for February, that again, we moved a record number, 97% more riders in January. The unique user trend continues to go up, decreased in that cost per user. And then the pooling has been at an all-time high as well because we're moving so many people. We have, through our app, we're collecting all of this data. We have some rider comments here that we share. And then this is what I really am excited about is the opportunity to grow. This is some new tools that we have, Joan. I don't think we've even shared this with you, but we will on our call this month. I need to see it a little bit better here, but this is our rides versus requests by the day of the week. So the dark line there is the completed rides, and the lighter line is the number of requests. So this shows that we're still missing a good amount of riders. There's still more demand than supply. And again, we're trying to fit all of that in with as much pooling as we can. But if we look at an even bigger completed rides versus requests per hour, we see that we're still missing a lot of riders. Good and bad problem. I think the positive is that we have room to either add vehicles, increase the fares. Again, we're at $1 a rider right now. A lot of our markets, we're at $2 a rider. We're at $2 for the first, $1 each additional. So there's a lot of different ways of approaching this to try and balance out those gaps that we're seeing right now. But I think the positive is that people want to use the system. A lot of those missed rides, somebody won't get paired with the driver and they'll just request again and then they will get paired. So we're not leaving a ton of people stranded, but there's certainly more demand than supply at the moment. And that will also level off as we get into the summer months and it will slow down a little bit. But I think in general, we're certainly not meeting 100% of the demand at any time of the year. This is a destination category mix. So we can see what the economic impact is on the type of trips that we're doing. Residential is the top tier. 46% of our trips are touching someone's residence, so either to or from. And then, of course, we get the restaurants, shopping, transit, healthcare, all the other categories. So a lot of great new data that we just rolled this out last week. Internally, we'll be sharing with Joan and our other partners over the next couple of weeks. And this will dig into what is the economic impact in February of our program. And based off of this, it's about $15,000 a month for direct spend and then $23,000 for the total economic spend of what are these trips doing. If they're going to a restaurant, we know what the average ticket is there, and we know how people are using the service and what those spending patterns are. Looking at future opportunities, I actually updated this that before I got it over to you, but speaking with the team and digging in a little bit more, we have a couple exciting opportunities. Number one, as I mentioned, we could talk about adjusting the fares. The vice mayor mentioned some kind of ad component for the local businesses. Aside from that concept, we can also build zones around these businesses in the back end of our app. So as a user, you don't see it. But basically, if you go to this location, they can pay for your ride. And we can bill them for the trip instead of the user. So that incentivizes a local business to say, ride circuit for free to our business. It's on us. And then we can go out and bill them for those trips instead of the user paying for it. We can give them promo codes or they could take it off the check, for example. So a lot of different ways of setting that structure up. The biggest opportunity that I've been speaking with Joan about, and I believe we're speaking later this week, is there is an FDOT grant available right now. The grant cycle opened up. It's due May 1st. And this could fund an expansion. It will not fund an existing program, but if you wanted to look at citywide, we could send in an application. It's a pretty straightforward process, and we use that funding source in both Pompano Beach and Fort Lauderdale. So I think we'd have a compelling argument to put an application together, submit that on behalf of the CRA and the city, ask to cover citywide service and add some more vehicles. So I think it is a 3-year grant with a 50% match. So the city and CRA would have to come up with 50% of it. But I'd say if you added 3 vehicles to the entire system and go to citywide, city and CRA pay for 1.5, and ideally FDOT pays for 1.5 vehicles. And as I mentioned, some other funding relief opportunities are increasing the fares to $2 a rider. We can, even within that, we can do discounts to seniors, residents, or other groups. Again, local businesses can offer sponsored rides to their business. And then private developers, we have been speaking with the Mid and and Deco Green about potentially having them add on a dedicated vehicle that takes pressure off, or potentially advertise on some vehicles so that they could then be included into the service area. But the last thing I wanted to mention is that College Park has been coming up quite a bit. We know that those residents want accessibility to get into Lake and Lucerne and be able to use the service. So I think that would be a natural area to expand to. With the current fleet, it might be stretching a little bit, but we could also do a higher fare structure. Seeing as they're not getting the service now, we could even do $3 a rider to include College Park. So everything's on the table. We can structure this however, at your direction, but just wanted to share, where we are today and where I think the opportunities are to grow. Palm Beach, yes. So that was an organization, Citizens Association of Palm Beach. And I've been in communication with them about potentially adding vehicles, their own dedicated, for the resident buildings on the Barrier Island. I did speak with one of the gentlemen there yesterday, and has kind of been unfortunately, the message from the town of Palm Beach is I think the initial thought was they don't want us dropping a bunch of people off in Palm Beach. And I explained that's not the intention. It's for the residents in all of these. He mentioned it was 46 buildings that live in that blue or purple area to be able to get to the Publix here and to your shopping and dining, because we also know that Belvedere, I believe, is now closed. You have to go southbound to get anywhere. So he's pushing on and I believe there's an election there tonight. So there'll be more conversations, but as of now, that one is on hold, I would say.
You're dealing with the Citizens Association or the Palm Beach Town Commission?
I was speaking with the Citizens Association, who was speaking with the town of Palm Beach.
Okay, I used to be on that board, so maybe we can have
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
discussion.
Sure.
Next.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the good information there. I went through the slides beforehand, and it seemed, I guess the current number is around $9 per rider, somewhere in that
Yes.
paragraph?
Yep.
Okay. Have you polled any of the riders to see if they would be okay with some more?
We've done some surveys. I don't remember when the last one was, but yeah, I'll have to go back and look. But we typically get a range, and we'll say, you willing to pay $2 a ride, $5, or a rider, I should say. And as I recall, we very rarely get any pushback on $2 to $3 a rider, especially if you compare it with a rate of an Uber or Lyft or even parking.
Good. And as you capture more people from the requests, and the wait time is like 15 minutes too long of a wait then, where it starts to handle?
No, that's pushing it a little bit. We'd like to be right around 10, and we're there now. We're at 11 right now in kind of peak season. So it does dip down a little bit in the summer months, but we're right at the sweet spot. Again, if you increase that fare a little bit, it will bring the wait times down a bit, because it also gets people behavior to think, do I really need this right now? Or, they'll start thinking a little bit more about the intention of their trip.
And what would it take for a third vehicle to be added on to this in the area that you're serving now?
Cost wise, well, the other thing I wanted to mention is you have pretty favorable rates right now. This is a 2023 City of Hollywood contract that you're piggybacked off of that will be good for a little bit more than another year. I want to say the cost to add another gem for the year is maybe around $10,000 a month or so, somewhere around that number. That's before any advertising, before any fare revenue reductions.
Is there some advertising that is going on right now where you use the vehicles for specific, boards on top? And
Yeah, we've had different advertisers. I'm trying to remember what's on there right now. I don't know if you've seen it. You're on one of them, and the other one has an ad sponsor, but I honestly, I don't recall who it is. And I know there's a couple others in line.
it would seem that would be a good opportunity to.
Yeah, absolutely.
You broke that up into a few, whatever, you got one say.
Yeah, we used to do that, but it's tough to get everybody to agree to be next to the other one. So we try and do full wraps for one sponsor, but we have done like a restaurant group would do two different concepts, one on each side, because they know they can get along with each other, but trying to piece that together has been challenging in the past.
It does seem that your highest request is between 1 and 6 p.m. from according.
That's pretty consistent with what we see all over South Florida.
I've liked it where I might walk downtown, but I sure like to ride back.
Yeah. That's right.
So is that play a role in there, or you know, who's using it more? I guess it said 50% residential, but
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, it's a little bit more residential. It was the seniors were about 40%. So there can also be structures to incentivize people to use it at the off hours or the slower hours. You know, sometimes we can get seniors to ride to Publix at 10 to 12 when it's a little bit slower, and we know those afternoon hours pick up and into the evening.
Quicker service at that
Yeah.
time, then.
Yeah.
But I think as far as the requests from a home to a destination versus the request from a destination back home.
Mhm.
Is your information broken down to that level?
It is, yes.
So what would dominate to the destination or from the destination somewhere else? To the home,
On time wise, or
just the number of users.
oh, I mean, I'd have to pull up, but I think it's pretty split. You know, there's a lot of people are using it round trip one way to a restaurant and then home.
I would think, especially for groceries or
Yeah,
factors or whatever. It's
for sure.
way,
Yeah.
So, and then you have different funding opportunities that we're talking about, but has anybody else approached you to participate other than just the CRA?
We are speaking with the hotel redevelopment, Gulfstream, yes. So though that's a little bit down the road, I guess, but there has been some discussions there.
And you said you could adjust fares possibly if you're like within a half a mile or quarter mile versus 3/4 of a mile, or how do you?
We can. I mean, I think the easiest way to do it is if we were to go north and include, I basically continued that rectangle up to all the way through College Park and said if that could be a little bit higher tier because it's further outside of the downtown core and they haven't had the service, I think that's a pretty easy one to start with. But we can establish zones that are different fare structures.
Been inquiries with College Park then
We've definitely heard it. Yes. Yep.
We've heard it a lot on our social media chat. Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, that's
Right, he took my question.
oh, did I? I'm sorry.
No, you see.
Okay.
Oh, fine.
I was thinking like John mentioned, oh,
I'm done, I guess.
What about other destinations? Have you ever thought about the college, JFK Hospital? Those are places,
We've had conversations with the college over the years. It's been a little bit tougher to get them to participate, but I'm always happy to reach back out. And I think the more we grow and the more destinations we connect to, the easier that is.
Could you just define unique users? You've said it several times, and for the people
Sure.
at home, they may not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the number of different individuals that have used the service within a month. So we have a lot of repeat users that are using the service 10, 12 times a month, but the number of individual users is that unique number.
Okay.
All right, motion to approve amendment to agreement as presented by staff.
second.
And before we can vote, we need to have public comment. So if you'll have a seat, we'll see
Sure.
if anyone would like to make a brief comment regarding this issue. If you would like to make a public comment regarding this issue, please step to the dais. Absence public comment, ask for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you. Now we're to be commercial grants.
Okay, good evening. For the record, Chris Bros, Lakeport CRA. This is the grant request that you reviewed actually back in January of this year. If you remember, we had some technical issues, couldn't get the applicant online. They're here in person today to discuss or answer any questions you may have. This is for 705/709 Lindstrom Avenue, which is the former Weber building. Currently the houses Palmy Chair and the I believe the kickboxing or workout studio as well. Two other tenants, four suites total in this unit at 705 Lucerne. The applicant is proposing to replace windows, do stucco work, painting on the property as well. They're expected, the job expected to cost over $72,000. They're requesting assistance from the CRA, the facade grant program of $36,350. And staff's recommendation is to approve the amount, but also a condition to have the job done no later than December of 2026. Such a recommendation. That's all I have. Unless you guys have any questions, for either myself or the applicant.
The applicant,
Should I step up?
come on, come on.
Good evening. Name and address, yeah. My name is Ryan Wyborg. I'm the president of 711 Lucerne Ave LLC. Address is 1409 Ponce de Leon Drive, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33316. I think Chris pretty much summed it up. We recently put a new roof on those buildings, and we're trying to kind of complete the entire renovation. We'll be doing additional work that's not, is this on?
Yeah.
We'll be doing additional work that's not part of the grant, where we're going to be repaving out back, redoing some of the plumbing. And so, yeah, we're just asking for an assist on the new windows and doors. The tenants are pretty excited, especially the new art gallery. I guess he's got some expensive sculptures, and right now he has to like take them home or something. So yeah, and then obviously getting it painted. We're going to leave that mural intact, but get the rest of the building just freshened up.
And I was advised also to, if you approve the recommendation from staff, to make a date certain of December 15th of this year, so just the month of December, to have the project done by.
Yeah, we have the contractors ready to go.
And you're confident that you'll be able to complete it by that date?
I think so. I mean, they're custom windows and doors. They're these kind of bay windows. But I think the window guy's been asking, when are you guys going to sign this thing? So I think they need the work. So I think we'll be good.
15th is about mid-December. The recommendation of staff was mid-December, so we're suggesting 15th, 16th from the board's discretion.
Motion to approve. In order?
With the deadline of December 15th.
Yeah. As recommended by staff.
I'll second.
And if you will have a seat, we always have to ask for any public comment. So if you would like to make a public comment regarding this item, please step to the podium. Lacking public comment, I'll call for.
I just had a quick question before you get your exercise in up and down. So they're all impact glass windows then, right?
Yes.
Like, so that's going to help that one, all the tenants actually, for sure, and preparing for a storm and all that.
Yes.
We've had that for quite a while.
Yeah, they're old windows, and I actually put the hurricane shutters on myself when we had that storm 6-7 years ago, and I'm happy to not have to deal with that again.
I totally understand that. And it's not a historic building, right? It's not an historic.
I think it is.
Did you have to get something from historic board before getting approved to do the windows?
The applicant will have to go through the historic process to get them approved.
Okay.
The plan is to make it look exactly how it does now.
Yeah, I don't say you have a problem. It's just part of that process to do that. And I think a permit that you have to get, they'll look for that approval prior to. So would you take that into consideration for that timeline? I just don't want you to get caught in the middle of these things, and we got, by the time you turn it in all, March. April.
Yeah, I mean, they've been working on this project since January, so they're pretty far along. It's just they haven't got the permit yet from the city, so that's why we're giving them. We presume 9 months is more should be enough.
You know, you're not going to get that permit until you get the historic board to.
How long does that typically take?
That's
Say
it.
4 to 5 months.
You can get it in there.
Really?
You can get it in there. Well, it's an easy one. But you will need to get a package to them.
I mean, we can jump right on it, but I our window guy's not going to be happy. I'm worried that it's going to get maybe repriced, or that's the only concern there. But
You might want to,
Do that.
Okay,
I
Tom.
was just gonna suggest if we leave it at, I apologize, Chris. If we leave it for December 15th, but perhaps give staff a 90-day ability to extend it by 90 days.
yes, if that's okay here.
I'll amend my motion to reflect that.
I just know the process and it can be, but you might talk to Ann and planning, because if it's a exact like for like, they might be able to do administrative. I don't know, but I would suggest give that a shot.
Do I have a second on the amendment?
Second.
Okay. We've had our discussion. Anyone else have any questions or concerns? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. I
Aye.
believe it passes unanimously. Thank you.
thank you.
Now we're at the executive director's report.
So I'm happy to report, in the Hatch building, we have an exhibit called The Art of Becoming, this month. It is absolutely fabulous. If you have not had a chance to stop by, please do. There's times, all during this month, and the artist is actually having a talk on March 21st from 1 to 3. Like I said, it is really, probably one of the best, or one of the best, shows we've had. Community project funding, as you heard from Commissioner Malega. We heard really last minute that we had a press release with Congresswoman Frankel last Monday. That went really well. We received $850,000 for affordable housing project. That's the third year in a row that we received it. We also learned that Friday before that, next year's application was due the next Thursday.
Wow.
So on behalf of the city and the CRA, I put in an application to help for funding for the garage and the arts alley. So fingers crossed on that. Opportunity zone, we had a very short time to turn that around as well. But I wrote it up for the city and they submitted it. We have a first and a second opportunity to do it. So hopefully they'll accept at least one. One focuses more on downtown and Dixie Highway, and the other one focuses more on North Dixie. And what that does is if we get the zone is actually approved, if you're doing redevelopment in those areas, you get tax credits. So that will be definitely helpful and something we can also tout here in the city. Lake Worth Homebuyer Club is starting up again. It goes from March 18th to March 27th. It is online, and I believe there's something in your packet if you want to share with anybody that you know is interested in becoming a first-time homebuyer. We do have a number of Habitat for Humanity homes that are under construction. We also have a number of the Community Land Trust villas that are under construction as well. We did have a meeting with the merchants after our last meeting that we had here. 12 of them showed up. We met at Lilo's for a few hours, got some good feedback. We're actually following it up with a meeting with the commissioners, since a lot of the things that came up really didn't have anything to do with the CRA, but are more kind of city related. But the marketing is coming along really well, and we'll have some of the restaurant stuff that we're kind of putting out first. We'll show that to you as soon as possible. It'll definitely be ready by next month. And the request for proposal for the 2 lots in the downtown, 126 South J and 30 South K, we're doing the request for proposal. We're letting that out on March 13th. If any of you happen to know any developers who would like to get a copy of it, please let staff know and we'll be happy to send it to them. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. This time we have board member comments. Do any board members like to make a comment? Okay. I need a motion to adjourn. Oh,
So
I'm
moved.
sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot one thing. Tomorrow, is it tomorrow, Joan, that the trophy place is having?
Yes, yes.
Please. was that?
So we're having a grand opening for, it's called the Trophy Place. It's where the old pharmacy was on Lucerne and Federal. Gorgeous building. I believe it's at 3:30, 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. I have 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. It's gorgeous inside. Please, if you are available, please swing by.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry. That motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Have a nice evening.